Hello students, in my last lecture you have learned about what is matter and what are the types of matter. In that video I have explained about pure substances, its classification into elements and compounds. Elements were further classified into metals, non-metals, metalloids, and also we have discussed about water compounds and its property. Impure substances we have discussed that they are called as mixture, and this mixture is of two types, homogeneous as well as heterogeneous mixture. In this video I will explain about homogeneous mixture and solution. Let's learn about homogeneous mixture and solution. Homogeneous mixture, as we have learned, that it is a kind of mixture which you cannot distinguish that which components you have mixed in it. For example, you can see that chocolate, coffee, milkshake, orange juice, air, lemonade, soda water, sugar plus water, salt and water. If you mix all these things together and you will get a homogeneous mixture. Why? Because whenever you mix this, you can see an example of salt and water. Whenever you mix salt into water, can you able to distinguish that you have, after dissolving, that you have added salt in it until you taste it? So in this way all these examples comes under homogeneous mixture. So in this we have learned a lot about homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. You can see that video in lecture number 1. Today we will go through the type of homogeneous mixture, that is solution. Solution is a homogeneous mixture, as I have told you, and it consists of two or more substances or components. Components are mixed in such a way that they appear only in one phase. That means only you can see a simple single kind of solution. You cannot distinguish what you have mixed in it. In a solution, basically two components are present, solute and solvent. Solute and solvent can be solid, liquid or gas. Let us see the examples of solutions. If you take a type of gas solution, then gas in gas, example air, you can see that air is a mixture, that is a homogeneous mixture. Why? Because in that solute is present and solvent is present. What is solute? Solute is generally the substance which is in small amount, which is present in small amount or quantity, whereas the solvent is in large quantity. So that means here in air, solute is oxygen, because the percentage of oxygen in air is very less as compared to nitrogen. You know that nitrogen is 78% in our atmosphere, whereas oxygen is very less in amount, 20% approx. So you can see that more amount of solvent is there and less amount of solute is there. So the solute is always having a small amount dissolved in the solution, whereas solvent is in large amount. You can see an example of liquid in liquid, that is gas in liquid, that is example soda water. Soda water contains more amount of solvent, that is water, and less amount of solute dissolved, that is carbon dioxide, that is CO2. If you see an example of solid in solid, you can have an example brass. Brass contains a homogeneous mixture of two solids, that is more amount of copper, whereas less amount of zinc in it. In this way, you can see the examples of solutions, and all these solutions are such a way mixed with each other that you cannot distinguish that what is mixed in how much quantity, because they are completely dissolved in uniform manner. Now, let us see the types of solutions. Solutions are of 5 types: aqueous solution, non-aqueous solution, dilute, concentrated, and true solution. If you see what is aqueous solution, generally aqueous solution is a solution in which water is a solvent. For example, if you dissolve salt in water, salt plus water, as you can see that you have dissolved salt in water, so this solution will be known as aqueous solution, because whenever solvent is your water, then that solution is an aqueous solution. If you talk about non-aqueous solution, it is very simple. Solution in which other than water is dissolved, that means something else is dissolved, in which water is not a solvent, then that will be non-aqueous solution. For example, you can see sulfur dissolved in carbon disulfide. So here carbon disulfide is your solvent. Then what is dilute solution and concentrated solution? This depends on the amount of solute dissolved in solvent. That how much quantity you have taken. So it is depending upon the amount of solute dissolved in solvent. That means if you take a beaker in which, suppose if you take 3 beakers, and if we add acid in it, so the amount of acid is maximum here. That means when your solute is more in a solvent, suppose water is your solvent, then that will be your concentrated solution. Suppose if we take 10 ml of solution and in this 9 ml of acid is there and 1 ml of water is there, then this solution becomes concentrated. If you take in second example in which your acid is in less quantity, than water, suppose here if we go on decreasing the amount of acid, then it becomes 8 ml acid and 2 ml water. That means your water is increasing, whereas your acid quantity is decreasing. If you take third example in which the solute is becoming more less, then you can say that acid, water. Then you can say that 6 ml acid and 4 ml water. So you can see that gradually the amount of your solute is decreasing, whereas your solvent is increasing. Whereas your solvent is keep on increasing. That means here this part is containing more amount of solute than solvent, then this will be your concentrated solution. Whereas while going from this beaker to this beaker, we can see that gradually the solute amount is decreasing. So here you will get the dilution of this solution. That means this will be more concentrated solution and this will be less concentrated solution. Now let us see what is true solution. In this solution, your solute particles are completely dissolved in the solvent. For example, you can see sugar and water. So this is all about the types of solutions. Now let us study about the concentration of a solution. Concentration of a solution is defined as the mass of solute present in a definite volume of a solution. It may be expressed in terms of percentage by mass of solute in grams. For that, the formula will become percentage of solute equal to mass of solute divided by mass of solvent into 100. Now, depending on the concentration of this solution, the solution can be further classified into saturated, unsaturated as well as supersaturated solution. Now let us see what are they. If we talk about saturated solution, you can see that example I have mentioned here that contains a mixture of a solution in which salt is there and water is dissolved. In this you can see that the solute is completely dissolved, that is your NaCl is completely dissolved in the water. In this saturated solution, it contains maximum amount of solute that will dissolve at given temperature. That means whenever you dissolve the solute in the given solvent at a given temperature, it will be dissolved completely. So it will be having the maximum amount of solute in the solution. That will be saturated solution. Then what is unsaturated one? It will contain less than the maximum amount or maximum limit of the solute. Here you can see that NaCl is dissolved in this water, but here you can have the opportunity that you can dissolve some more solute. That means it has still the capability of getting the solute and getting dissolved. But a stage is there in which if you dissolve above the maximum limit of the solute, then that will be the solution treated as supersaturated solution. See, what will happen of that extra solute that will be starting collecting at the bottom of the beaker, and you will be getting the unstable solution, and in this two solution you will be getting the stable solution. Why? Because the extra amount of solute which is actually crossing the limit of the exceeding limit of the maximum amount, then that will be just collected at the bottom of the beaker, and that will be the stage that you are getting a super saturated solution. So in this way you can study that or make a comparison that saturated solution having the maximum amount of solute, now no more solute you can dissolve in it. But in unsaturated solution you can dissolve some more solute because it is less than the maximum limit, whereas your supersaturated is now actually having a extra amount of solute that will be you are getting at the bottom of the beaker. So in this way you can define all these solutions. So this was all about the homogeneous mixture and solutions. In my next lecture I will explain about what are heterogeneous mixture and its types. Thank you.